So here's the story of the bike race.
Eddy and I, we lived together in Belgium for 5 years, and then we moved to Minneapolis for a job. And then we met you.
I, Lance, was living here with my girlfriend, and the three of us started hanging out in bars together. We drank a beer or 2 or 3 together.
It was great fun.
There was lots of dancing and there was lots of acting. And
For Eddy, you were his best friend as well.
And Eddy and I started to have a repetitive argument about the best bicyclist in the world.
Lance Armstrong or Eddy Merckx.
Because Lance Armstrong equaled the record of the famous Belgian from the 70s, Eddy Merckx.
In number, not in heart and bones.
So we adopted their names, and Eddy and I were out for a casual bike ride, and he started riding faster, and then I started riding faster, and then pretty soon, without knowing it, we were racing. And I said, okay, well, let's just have a race to decide actually who's the champion, Eddy or Lance, and we'll set up routes that are mapped in advance.
But one is not enough.
And it was decided that there would be 4 stages. Then you named it.
It's the first race of the Tour de Force. How are you feeling?
The wind is strong, and I'm a little concerned about the first leg of the race being directly into the wind, but all in all, I feel confident.
Eddy?
You know, it's the first race is always touching and feeling, as they say. So we touch and feel, and I'm sure that he will see more my back than my front.
Okay, the wind in the back. Good luck.
The first race, we drove 2 cars, and this was a 25-mile stage, and I actually had been sort of training.
Eddy, on the other hand, didn't have any preparation because he, being from Belgium, that's known for good bicyclists, he thought, I'm in shape to beat the Lance guy.
I won the race rather
Very.
easily.
I have not to look for excuses. I think the best one, and there's always in every race only one winner. And for today it's Lance. And
I felt sick, so I walked away, and then I saw a little American flag, and I knew I had to perform the national anthem in the award ceremony, so I brought the little American flag with me. At the same time that all this was occurring, there were a bunch of people getting together on Mondays, going swimming and canoeing and bicycling. And there was a Monday when I was still calling everybody, and you were the only one that could come.
Yeah, because Eddy had to work that day.
I had this idea that I wanted to walk in the river from a bridge and then go all the way to another river, which is a bigger river.
So we ended up in the river.
And we walked and walked and walked and swam parts. It was a fun day.
It was very fun.
So afterwards we went to a bar
Of course, to a bar.
to have a drink, and then I think I said something to the effect that I'm kind of more interested in you than just as a friend.
And I thought, ooh, where is this going? And I was a little confused because I've never seen Lance that way.
Okay, Eddy? Eddy, the second race of the Tour de Force.
yes.
Last race you saw Lance back from the beginning till the end.
That's the way it is, you know. I'm going to be very careful in what I say, and I hope my legs will be with me today.
We're not racing against each other, we're racing individually just against the clock,
Yeah.
a distance of 5 miles. This is what I had actually trained for, so I was surprised to lose.
And now we drove with one car, I think.
And I drove, you sat in between, and then Eddy sat in the passenger seats.
And I remember when we go into a turn, my leg touching your leg. I was already looking, oh, when will be the next turn?
This is a killer because you have to keep speed. With the hills you can a little bit calculate, but here it's going full out. And
I think you have a pretty good time. We'll see what Lance will do.
Between the first and the second stages, my girlfriend and I came over to Eddy and your apartment, and we had a dinner. And
In the little park across our apartment.
Right.
And you, Lance, we were the only 2 who were running around like little children.
Well, we crawled as tigers through the yard, and then we came to a garage. And in the garage, we found bicycles. So we started riding 2 bicycles in tight, fast circles in the garage. And then I think we started playing imaginary trombones.
Yeah.
I started to become self-conscious that I had left my girlfriend while I was running off with you, clearly having as much fun as I possibly could have.
That's the whole anthem?
It's longer, but I don't know it.
Right. Okay.
The next day was the next race.
Yeah, it's the mountain stage. It's represented by winning, and the Tour de France as well, the Bolletjes jersey. It's a white jersey with big pink dots on it. I made the Bolletjes jersey.
Good afternoon,
Hi,
Lance.
Hilde.
The third race, what do you think?
I would like to say that I hope that both racers will race with a prudent sense of caution, because there are some steep winding dirt hills, and I hope that Eddy keeps in mind his safety as well as his eyes on the yellow jersey and the Bolletjes.
So the three of us rode again in one car.
I was in the middle.
Eddy and I on either side.
You know, and I always wonder whether Eddy had suspicion. I saw him watching once in a while towards our legs. Something was going on, because I think when we drove back, Eddy was in the middle.
And I know that my opponent is more a sunshine boy, and I'm more like kind of mud and dirt Lance, and not so much a risk taker. But we'll see, you never know what's hidden in him. He is unpredictable.
When you give the trophies
Yeah?
to the winner, you gave little kisses on the cheek.
I was giving more significant kisses by then as well than the first one.
I had to sing the national anthem
It's,
as the winner.
it's the
And I,
end.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel free.
between the third stage and the final stage of the Tour de Force, there was a party, and in a way that was typical for Eddy, he encouraged the two of us to dance together.
We danced and danced, and then the two of us were on the floor, on our belly, top of our fingers, almost touching each other.
And between our hands was a crack in the concrete, like a barrier. And then your pinky came creeping across the line and touched my pinky.
With energy and electricity and warmth for me.
Our hands began to get closer and closer to each other and start to touch each other.
Just the fingertips.
Just the fingertips at first, and then eventually a whole hand was in a hand. You had an enormous smile on your face, and I just looked in your eyes, and then I said, this is actually happening. And then I looked out of the corner of my
Yes,
eye,
I know.
and a friend of ours was watching us, and I asked myself immediately how much of it had he seen.
When we turned, I think we looked both to each other. We were both so surprised because it was just a wall of wind that hit us.
We are feeling
Very much in love, and because we couldn't see each other like every day,
you found a tree.
which was hollow, and we could leave little notes in that tree.
The most significant thing that I received was a t-shirt.
We always forget about the little socks, which I thought were more endearing. I had to go and buy lipstick. I put it on my lips and start kissing the inside of the socks, and kissing and kissing and kissing and kissing, and then I started also doing that with the t-shirt.
The final stage of the Tour de Force, I was wearing that t-shirt and those socks.
Lance, last race, how do you feel?
I've had a number of strengthening salves and encouragements of a form that I think will give me the strength to finish the race in good time today.
For the final stage, there were 3 additional friends who came along.
And the race was in Ghent, Minnesota. Eddy and I, we lived in Belgium, in Ghent.
So Eddy and another friend were in one car. The 2 other friends were in the front seat of the car we were in, and we were in the back seat holding hands
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It was at a certain moment I was in conflict with myself, and then suddenly it got stuck, and I said like, hey, this is not as usual.
And I saw him coming around the corner and said, man, it's Eddy. He is a great guy. And I loved him as my dear friend. I thought, you know, Lance, you have the kisses on your body, but I want Eddy to win the race.
It feels good to win in Ghent, the hometown.
Of course, it's always pleasant to win at home.
Then we began the celebration in the Silver Dollar Bar in Ghent.
We had a lot of fun.
There was very high energy, and everybody that had come was shouting and screaming, and it was a very festive atmosphere. And then we went back to the motel, and through the wall I could hear voices. Hear the tone of it sounded like an argument. I thought that you had revealed to Eddy what was happening, so I went next door.
And there you were, and you just started telling the whole story to Eddy.
I just said, I'm in love with Hilde. I want to be with Hilde. I'm sorry. And then, to my surprise, Eddy just kind of put his arm around me. There was still a bottle of champagne. And he said, oh, you know, these things happen. And then the three of us laid down in the bed with Eddy between you and I. And we drank the bottle of champagne.
Was it a hard race?
It hurts, but that's what sports is about. It's about hurting yourself and, breaking the boundaries.
And I woke up the next day and I was incredibly hungover, just felt sick and terrible. And it was clear when I went out and saw the two of you that things were not okay.
No, they were not okay.
Yeah.
And I felt very sick and hangover and sad and confused and very much in love. And
you and I, again, were put in the back seat to
we
ride.
ended up in the same car with the same two people in the front.
We were driving away from Ghent, Minnesota, and I was being jostled about in the back seat, feeling kind of sick, but I was holding your hand. And
I looked up at you and I said, well, I hope we like each other.
I really liked that.
That was the John Cage national anthem.